and of course there are many issues to be discussed, you know, and we have had a lot of problems in Africa recently, in West Africa especially. We have heard about coups recently, and yesterday one coup was foiled in Guinea-Bissau, and certainly they have a lot of things to discuss. I'm sure they will address them adequately. We need to work in and out, but there are many things that they have to look into seriously about the African continent, you know, to make sure that you know, we focus on development, and now we focus on education, we focus on science and technology, we focus on innovation also, so that, you know, we can move forward, you know, and all these political issues, all these things that we are talking about, and also if you see that there are problems in countries like Mali, where and Nigeria, where you have you know, rebel movements and most like some insurgency going on and things like that, because we certainly have problems of education. Certainly, I'm sure if we had created employment for these young people, well-educated people, give them good employment, there will not be any insurgency. I'm not saying there will not be any satisfaction, but certainly that the extreme ones, you know, can be avoided, and I'm sure they can be avoided in many ways. Definitely, yes, I think they can be avoided. So that is why I'm saying that education is the key. Let us focus on educating our young people. Africa has all the potential. Our young people are our assets in Africa. You know, they are not a liability for us. They are our assets, and we must use them properly and adequately well. And that's why I say educating them is the first thing in the first place. I expect head of state to address the major issues in Africa. There are many. COVID-19 is a major problem. We don't have enough vaccines for our people. People are getting sick. People are dying. And I think they need to address that first and foremost. Secondly, we need to address, you know, how we in Africa can move forward, you know, in the next 5 to 10 years. We have all these development agendas which the African Union is promoting. You know, we have the Agenda 2063 that we are talking about, the Africa that we want. You know, there are also education strategies, continental education strategy for Africa. We have the strategy on science, technology, and innovation for Africa. We have other strategies also, like technical vocational education and training strategy for Africa. And if we implement these things properly, adequately, I'm sure that we'll see a big difference. We'll see a big difference. And also, we need to stop corruption on the continent. That is one thing that's leading to all these problems, all the civil strife, all the demonstrations, it's leading to that. I think we need to really see what we can do. I know the ECOWAS, the Economic Commission of West African States, is doing so well in these days because they speak out against some of these things that are causing problems on the continent. And I would like to see other bodies in the continent also do the same. You know, replicate this, talk about this, and focus on development. Let's focus more on development because that's what we need to do right now. Well, I don't think foreign countries have a place in African matters. We have suffered a lot, you know. Africa is the only continent that has gone through slavery. We were enslaved. We went through colonialism. We were colonized in Africa, you know. And then we went through neocolonialism, imperialism, and all these isms that I'm talking about right now. So you find out that we in Africa, we need to sit down. That's why the African Union is there. Let us solve our problems ourselves. Let's solve African problems using African solutions and not get foreigners to interfere in Africa. And all these things about aid and all these things, I think Africa we should look internally. Let us look how we can support our own development. Because anytime you go to the Western countries or Eastern countries, wherever you go, I mean, there are strings attached. And they have so much influence over you. And they can interfere and do whatever they want to do to your country. And that's not good. Let us look internally. Let us support each other in Africa. Let Africans support other Africans. Let us work together. And you see, there'll be a big difference. There'll be development, certainly. That's my stand. is now facing many challenges. We have a very large population now of young people. The population of young people is going to be doubled by 2050, and the figures are enormous. And for Africa compared to other continents, we have what we now call the youth bulge, that is having so many young people springing up from every corner, every aspect, every part of the continent. And for that reason, that's a big challenge for us. We need education, first of all. We need to have them employed after they're educated. We need to have them put in the right jobs and put in the right places. I think we need that all the time, so that they can contribute to development. We don't have to educate our African young people and have them go out, to work for other continents or other countries outside of the African continent. It's better they stay in their own countries and work there. And we need to create the jobs. We need to create the industries. We need the government as well as the private sector to work together to do all that. So there are many challenges, in fact. And also, as I said, the right type of education is necessary. Good quality education is necessary. And that is what we don't have right now in the continent. We have over, 30 million children who are out of school in many, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa. They are not going to school, there's no learning taking place. And of course, the COVID problem has actually increased the magnitude of the problem of lack of education in the African continent. So we have so many challenges, really, so many. We can go on and on. We don't have good teachers. We need classrooms. We need teaching materials, books, and so on and so forth. So many things we need. It's hard to come by any concrete solutions at this time, because even before the COVID-19 struck the world, education was already a challenge. And with COVID-19, it has become even worse. And first of all, African nations do not have the resources, technical, material, financial, to cope with the current situation of COVID. And even before, they couldn't do that adequately. I'm not saying that Africa doesn't have resources. We have a lot of resources. We have so many things. We are a lot of intelligent people. We have God-given resources. We have, all kinds of things that I can quote here. But then the issue now is that how do we manage these resources adequately? How do we make sure that, we generate income from these resources? We put the money back into, what is necessary for our young people, what is necessary for development, and how do we avoid things like corruption, mismanagement, embezzlement of public funds? How do we manage all that? So that becomes a problem.
What is the most severe problem in education sector in your experience with the nation?
Well, I think what I want to say here is that young people are going to school nowadays, but not all young people are going to school. The type of education they receive may not be the most relevant education for them. Some people get one type of education and they do something else, and they're dissatisfied with what they have. And there are no jobs, for instance. Jobs are lacking in the African continent. And we need, as I said, these jobs need to be there. We have to get a relevant type of education, we have to get a relevant type of jobs for them that will contribute to our continent's overall development. And this is what we don't have. And this is a major challenge. It's a major challenge. You cannot have a classroom of 40 students, all well educated, and at the end of the day, only 5 of them get jobs. The 35 cannot find jobs. That's a problem. It's a major problem. It's an issue. And I think we need to really address those issues quite adequately. Well, my message to all African children is that they should make an appeal we should sit together, make an appeal to our leaders in Africa, as we are here now. Appeal to them, let them understand the plight of African children. Let us work together to support them, to lift them up, to educate them, and give them the best in life. And we see that'll be a difference in Africa. Africa will develop. Yeah. We will go further than where we are right now if we do that. We cannot be going like this year after year, decade after decade, the way we are going right now. No? Unless we also focus on our African children. Because the children are the future. And if we focus on our African children, we'll see a big difference in what is going on the continent.